Kurt Warner with us, Parkins and Spiegel on the score. Good in the first half, but 4 turnovers and 5 drives where they could have tied or taken the lead in the fourth quarter and didn't get it done. What did you think of Tyson Bagent against the Saints?
Yeah, I think Tyson's doing some really good things. I really like his kind of feel for the game. When things aren't perfect, when he's got to throw a little bit off of platform, he's got a nice feel and throws a really good ball and finds some completions that aren't necessarily there in structure. The one thing that I would say is I want to continue to see him get better at pacing his plays, meaning tying his drops to the routes. And again, it's a problem I see all across the league is that so often quarterbacks, they're either too quick with their drop, so they get set too quickly, and then they don't allow a play to play out, and they're getting to a check down or they're moving on to their next read when plays are going to develop and be there that they can throw. Or the opposite is that they're not on time, so they're taking too long of a drop. So by the time they need to be set and throwing the ball, they're not ready yet. So now they're trying to play catch up and they're missing opportunities that way. And so that's one of the biggest things that I see with Tyson is I want to see him continue to develop that feel on what is my drop on this particular play? What is the timing for something to be open against the different looks that I might get? And always making sure that I'm on time and I'm ready a tick before I have to be ready, but I allow things to play out so the plays can work for you. Sometimes we'll look and go, oh man, he had to throw it to his check down there, but a play's coming. We just haven't waited long enough for that to happen. And the pressure's maybe even tighter to us because our drop wasn't as deep as it needed to be. And so it becomes an art to be able to tie your feet and your mind to every single concept and the depth of the concept and what we're trying to do. So you don't miss some of those opportunities that are sitting out there waiting for you.
So, Kurt, it's an interesting spot here with 8 games left. We'll see if Justin Fields is healthy for Thursday night. I don't know if either of them are going to be the opening day quarterback for the Bears next year. We don't know. We'll see what they have in terms of the draft. But if you were a general manager or a head coach and you had the opportunity to learn more by playing Justin Fields with everything he brings and having started 31 games, or Tyson Bagent and what he brings and having started 3 games, how would you use the next 8 games of playing time this season?
That's a great question, and that's a question that I can't really answer because I'm not around it enough. I'll continue to say that if you believe that one of those guys can be a franchise guy with what you've seen, or let's look at Justin first, and Justin's had more time, been there longer. If you believe that Justin can be your franchise guy, and you just need more seasoning and more time with him, then I think you have to go back to him. With what you've seen at moments from him. But just the fact that, hey, you drafted him, and if he could be a franchise guy, you go back to him.
What if they don't believe? What if they don't believe that? It's what we wonder in this town. We don't know.
Right. And if I don't think it's him based on what I've seen, and he hasn't turned the corner as fast as we wanted to, then I think I go the other route and say, well, we got to see what we have in Tyson. And I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback, or if we believe he can be the starter, or if we've seen enough that says, well, we've seen enough to say that if he can advance, he can be a starting quarterback for us. Then I think you go that route, because the bottom line is what you want to do by the end of the year is you want to know what your situation is going into next year. We want to know if we have a franchise guy. We want to know if we have a starting quarterback. We want to know if we have to go out and make another move to draft somebody really high because we don't have that guy in the building. And so that to me is the question that the organization has to ask with one or both of these guys is, that's what we got to determine by the end of the year. Do we need that next guy? Do we need to draft a guy, or do we have the guy in the building? And I can't tell you right now where they're leaning because I don't get to see these guys every day. I don't get to have those conversations. You see the offense kind of runs a little differently with both quarterbacks. What do we want to be offensively? How do we think we're built offensively? And is it built to allow one of these guys to have more success and us to have more success? Those are all the questions. But it's so hard, again, to ask when all you watch is what happens on a Sunday afternoon, on film. You need to see more, and you need to understand what's going on a daily basis.
Can arm strength improve for Tyson Bagent?
Yeah, I think arm strength can always improve to some degree, but I'm also a believer that you only have to have enough arm strength. That arm strength isn't about can you throw it 70 yards. Arm strength is about can you make every throw. The kind of throws that you have to make, the pace on the football. I often, told people I don't think I ever threw the ball over 65 yards in my entire life when I'm, running back and trying to do a long throw competition. But I always felt that I could put the same pace on the ball from 0 to about 40 yards down the field. And that allowed me to make all those different throws off platform, be able to drive the throw. When I have to drive it in between defenders, I could do it, even though I wasn't a guy that you would classify as having a big arm. So to me, do you have enough arm? And that's, to me, all that really matters when you're asking guys to make the different throws. If you do that, then the deep throws, everybody's got enough arm strength to make the deep throws. If you throw them on time, no ball should be thrown 65 yards anyways. We want to try to keep it between 45 and 50 max. And so throw it on time, throw it with the right pace. And, all these guys have enough arm. So that's, to me, more important than, how far can they throw it or how fast can they throw it.
Kurt, as always, we appreciate the time and insight. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk next week.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week.
Thanks,
Thank
Kurt.
you.